content about Chess the Musical having an official Twitter account. I thought that was some good content. That was great content. You weren't even recording. At Chess the Musical UK.
I don't. They're sending me on something that makes me wonder if there's. I feel like I've heard. Who was in the movie of it? No, the movie of it was all the people who performed in it, right?
I didn't know
the music video is the.
I didn't even know there was a movie.
Video
literally,
Bangkok,
literally the only thing I know about Chess is One Night in Bangkok. That's all I know.
I think the music video of that was the. I don't know that there was a film of it, but I believe the music video of it was just the performers of the original show.
I believe that
an adaptation of the. Of the scene in the musical.
I'd buy it. So this episode's releasing after, but recording before Sonic the Hedgehog comes out.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't know if is the internet going to change post Sonic the Hedgehog. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
Depends on how good it is. It depends on how good it is. I remember this period where I was going to movies a lot, just about every week. And now the last time I was in a theater was Uncut Gems.
That's not that long ago. Like last month, right? Not even a month ago.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Would have been January. Right? Unless you saw it at the Alamo.
Yeah, no, it was after January 10th, I think.
So it's only like max 4 weeks ago. That's more recently than I've seen a movie, and I work at a movie theater. So
I would be at movies so often if I actually worked at.
Yeah, I mean, you say that.
Have I told you about what? Nah, never mind. I won't.
Are you just keeping content away from the show? Is it going to be a Patreon exclusive? Is that what you're going to make it?
It's going to be like when I feel like an exclusive.
it's gonna be one of those things of like we're running out of content in episode like 84, and you're like, you know what? I'll just tell that story about. I didn't really know what it's about at this point.
About Alamo that I sequestered. Before that, it was I think it was Joker. No, I'm just saying, like, I went from like every week or just about every week to like 40 plus times in a year.
The last couple of years I saw all the Oscar nominees, and this year I only saw 3 of them, and that was Joker, Ford vs Ferrari, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And those I just saw last year when they came out, not because they were nominated, just because I wanted to see them. And 2 of them were good, and 1 of them was a mistake. So, you know.
Ford vs Ferrari?
No, Ford vs Ferrari is great.
Oh, you didn't enjoy Joker?
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, now let's get into the no, let's not.
Let's not do a whole thing on the Joker. Let's just it's a movie. It happened. Joaquin Phoenix was good.
Got an Oscar for it last night. Like Brad Pitt, kind of felt like a Lifetime Achievement Oscar.
Has Pitt never won one before?
He won one for producing for 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave, yeah, but he never won an acting award. I guess. I mean, he's not been in a lot of.
He's never been in anything that deserves it.
Moneyball.
Yeah, that year was stacked. I think.
I'm sure. Yeah. No, he's been in some stuff, but you're right. It's probably kind of award that just sort of like, here you go. Here's a.
Who was that year? Was that Leo Leo obviously didn't win it for Wolf of Wall Street, but was that?
No, 2011. No, because Moneyball is the reason that
Moneyball was after.
Moneyball is the reason that Jonah Hill was in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Let's see, 84th Academy Awards. The Artist. That's the year The Artist won.
That's what I thought.
Jean Dujardin. Oh yeah, Brad Pitt was even nominated for Moneyball. I didn't realize he was even nominated, but yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Pitt was nominated. Gary Oldman, George Clooney, Damien Bashir, and Jean Dujardin, who is canceled. So maybe they should have given it to Pitt.
I was very against the idea of giving the award to a silent movie performance.
I don't know. That's whatever. My mom was upset that Parasite won. Not that she didn't like Parasite, she hasn't seen it. She just thought she was just like, oh, they're giving it to the foreign film, whatever. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just they decided it was the best movie. Like, first of all, you watch foreign films every night. That's the only thing she watches are Bollywood movies. So what the hell is she talking about?
Winners and nominees of the 84th. Was that Christopher Lloyd Best Supporting for, I think, Beginners? I like that movie.
I didn't. I also didn't realize that the writer of Moneyball, Steve Zalian, wrote Irishman, which makes me mildly more interested in seeing it, but like not that much, not enough to actually watch it.
Isn't that movie like 3 hours long?
The Irishman, yeah. Oh, co-writer, by the way, co-writer with Sorkin. Obviously, Sorkin wrote Moneyball.
Sorkin. I was literally watching.
Yeah.
Oh, West Wing today.
But Steve Zalian wrote Schindler's List, Mission Impossible, Gangs in New York.
Jesus Christ.
Co-wrote Moneyball. He also wrote some bad movies. He wrote Exodus, Gods and Kings. Jack the Bear. I don't know, the Hannibal Lecter, like Hannibal movie from 2001. So he's like hit or miss.
Is that the one with Edward Norton? Or is that Red Dragon?
Oh, boy. Julianne Moore. It's the one where Julianne Moore takes over for Jodie Foster.
Look. Has Edward Norton been in one of those movies? Is that with...
It's with Anthony Hopkins. Yeah.
I remember watching one of those and enjoying it.
Like the original?
No. Obviously the original. No, one of the other ones where he's appearing as Hannibal Lecter. Red Dragon was the one with Edward Norton.
Gotcha. Yeah. Ridley Scott directed this one. Wow. But yeah, I don't know.
Ridley Scott directed the sequel?
Yeah, the 2001 Hannibal with the one with
Hey Nime. Did Ridley Scott direct that one Tom Cruise movie? What is it called?
The Last Samurai?
Did Ridley Scott direct The Last Samurai? Long story short, Ken Watanabe, bing bang boom, Samurai Code.
Helicopters. Sorry. And welcome. I was going to start over because I misspoke, and I was like, you know what? No, keeping it all in. Hello, helicopters, and welcome to episode 6 of Motion City Podcast. I am, as always, Naim Siddiqui. Joining me once again is my co-host and co-navigator through this endeavor. It is Jacob Walden. How's it going, Jake?
Good.
Are you just giving me like short clipped sentences so I don't cut you out of context to make it sound racist like I threatened to 5 minutes ago? 5 minutes ago. No, 30 seconds ago.
I was trying to think with co-navigator. I'm like, co-navigator. Okay. Boats, anchors in the song, anchors. Yeah.
Anchors away. Maybe that'll be our closing now. Maybe our closing phrase will be anchors away. I'd like to anchor and stay. No. I'd like to anchor someday, even if it kills me. I don't know.
I'm like an anchor someday.
I don't know. Well, I guess at some point we'll get to a good closing phrase. But I don't think that's today.
That's optimistic.
Hey, listen, it only took us 4 episodes to find Hello Helicopter. So, once we'll find a good. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but we'll get to a song that has a good closing in it, and we'll be like, this is it.
God damn it.
Because I was gonna say we'll get to a closing song from an album, but A-OK was a closing song from an album, and that didn't have anything in it for us. So, besides being a great song. Hey, so today we are talking about The Samurai Code, which is the second to last song, the 10th track, I believe, off of Panic Stations, the as yet final album from Motion City soundtrack. Jake, you picked this song. Why did you pick this song?
Well, keeping with the pattern, we were going with a Panic Stations song, I think, if we,
Sure, yeah, because we covered one from all the other albums so far, so makes sense to.
All right, don't want to go too heavy on an album. I went through a lot of songs on Panic Stations trying to figure out which one I wanted. I think at first I'm like Heavy Boots, anything at all, and then I had listened to the album I think like 5 times since like thinking about that. I'm like, well, Samurai Code's it seems kind of unusual, like in contrast with songs in general, let alone their songs.
Yeah.
So it was that, or how am I blanking on the name? It was the last song of the album?
Days Run Away.
Days Run Away. We like both these songs. I mean, any given song, if you, especially Motion City soundtrack, if you have me listen to it like a dozen times in a short period, I'm gonna be like, boy, this is brilliant, and I will tell you why.
All right, well, tell me why.
Yeah, the structure itself seems unusual.
I agree.
When we were just getting into recording, I was trying to like figure out the notes of the song, but it seems like to me this is the most, and I don't mean this like diminishingly or like critically, but it seems like the song operates in a very narrow band of like octaves, I think, where there's not a huge range of the except for that like particular guitar riff. It seems like Justin singing almost like in kind of an even tone the entire time. Or like there's less inflection in his singing than a lot of other songs, and there's
I kind of agree up to a point. The I'd like to anchor and stay.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of, I think, sort of movement in certain parts, but like that might be as sort of as a dynamic contrast to the rest of it, which does, I agree, sort of stays in one range, especially compared to some of the earlier stuff where it's moving around a lot. I can see what you're saying with that. I think one thing I found interesting about this song is like the chorus is catchy. You hope for the best, but the best always leave you behind. Like that is a catchy chorus, but it is one of those where like it's sort of every time the chorus comes up, it kind of changes like a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't ever feel like,
because
I know I was listening to it earlier. I'm like, does this song even really have a chorus?
Right, like it has a chorusy structure, but like the chorus itself is not, tell me that you're all right, everything is all right. Tell me that you're all right, everything is all right. Like it changes. I mean, it doesn't change that much. You could kind of sing the same thing over it every time and just sort of just be a little wrong. But it is like at one point it's no hope for the best because the best always keep you behind. At some point it's you hope for the best, but you just end up losing your mind. Like there's always like just a little bitty change here and there. So like again, it's still a very chorusy structure, but the actual chorus, like there's actually nothing that is an actual chorus. It's not quite like what's the song? Oh, from Commit This to Memory. The Together We'll Ring in the New Year. Like Together We'll Ring in the New Year is straight up doesn't even have a chorus, right? It's just straight up just like a whole song.
LG Fuad obviously also, or is I think the obvious one that's got the unusual structure as well.
Yeah, kind of. LG Fuad's chorus is pretty. Yeah, I guess you're right. No, you're right. It is a bit of a different structure. But I feel like LG Fuad is more similar to this song. In that the chorus is a chorus, like especially because like in LG Fuad, less so in this song, but more so in LG Fuad, the chord progression changes at the chorus. And so like the verse and the chorus are separated by a different chord progression. Whereas with this song, it is pretty much the same chord progression throughout.
Mm-hmm.
There are some minor differences here and there, but mostly it's in the uh, I'd like to anchor someday. I'd like to anchor someday. Like that's got an A minor in there, but otherwise or like I guess it's an A sharp minor. But otherwise it's a very like uh G sharp, F sharp, C sharp driven song. Like it's almost entirely those three chords for most of it, and then you get a little A sharp minor and a little E sharp minor in there. Or sorry, F minor. There's no such thing as E sharp. A little F minor in there, but primarily it is a very G sharp, F sharp, C sharp chord driven. Obviously, I mean, there's a top line. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's done with the top line, and some stuff done with the Moog. Whereas the if we're going to continue comparing to LG Fuad, the verses are a C sharp and then C sharp slash C and then an A minor. Like it's I don't know. I can play it, but like describing the chorus with a capo on one, it's C slash B C C C slash B A minor, and then you get a G, but then the chorus is like G F G C G F G C or something like that. I can't remember the exact chords. It's that's a song that I play often enough that my hand just does it for me. But like yeah, it very very distinctly changes chord progression in the chorus, which is something that I think is done a lot more on Commit This to Memory, and even if it kills me, than even on like I Am the Movie. Like the chord progression for Perfect Teeth is the same throughout the entire song except for the bridge. Like the whole song is the exact same chord progression except for the bridge, which is like a little bit the hey, it's been quite a long time, like that part, and then also the what's the one that fuck, I don't remember the part that's right before that has like an A minor in there or something like that. But otherwise, it's pretty much the exact same chord progression that the song. So this is more similar in writing, I guess, to an I'm the Movie song. What's cool, like, so with this album, God, I'm talking a lot. I hate it when I do this. What's cool is through this album, they did they recorded it a little differently than previous albums. So they had specifically with this album made an effort to record it all like together in the studio all at once. Like they didn't track it for each other. They did it all in the studio. As opposed to like, a more traditional recording method of first the drummer comes in, then the guitar comes in, then the bass comes in, then the drummer comes back to maybe tweak some stuff, and the guitarist comes back to tweak some stuff, and the Moog and all that. They did it all like live, as if it was recording a live album, but in a studio space, because the band is so like they're so good live, they're so tight live, and they're such a good live band that I think, a lot of people had said that they wanted, a lot of their friends had said, hey, why don't you like try recording an album live? You're so good live. So I think maybe that comes through a little bit in this album, and in this song as well, where it's just sort of like, they maybe not recording it live as much. I don't have an ear like that to notice like, oh, this is tracked live as opposed to, oh, this is tracked. But it's one of those where I think they actively tried to write like they were kids again, like they were like, it would like I'm the Movie era. And so it sort of tracks that this is a little bit more simplistic in its chord structure. Sorry, I said a lot just now. Do you do you have something?
No, it's fine. I was thinking about how, to me, and this album as a whole, especially the song, feel more like what I would have associated with alt rock in their time.
Yeah.
Less so at the time of the album coming out because like by then I was listening to significantly less all rock.
Yeah, well, I mean, because
But
this came out in 2015. Like I said, it was the last album before they broke up. But it came out like around the time that I think Fall Out Boy reunited, and it sounds nothing like that Fall Out Boy reunion album. So they came back and did Save Rock and Roll, which was 2013, and then American Beauty, American Psycho, which was 2014, I think, or 2015. Um, and like, yeah, this sounds nothing like that, which is, like, that's fine. That doesn't sound anything like Fall Out Boy used to sound like, but it's certainly like it certainly sounds, this album sounds more like Motion City Soundtrack than the later Fall Out Boy albums sound like Fall Out Boy. Like Centuries doesn't sound like a Fall Out Boy song. Like especially when you're comparing it to songs like This Ain't a Scene and Sugar We're Going Down and Thanks for the Memories. Whereas, the Samurai Code, we're comparing it to LG Fuad. Like it's not LG Fuad.
no.
not by any stretch of the imagination, but like, it definitely sounds a little bit more like that. Whereas I think Go, the band might have been going in a bit of a direction of that sounded more indie rocky, which is not a bad thing. But I think Go was a very, like, it was a departure for the band, and Panic Station was trying to get back to what made them, like what made them Motion City Soundtrack. But I'm glad they made Go because it is like a very different sort of sound from the band. But I don't know.
I just don't like. I'm cognizant of when musicians are like playing outside of what I might be accustomed to with them, but I never think of it as not sounding like themselves. Like,
well, it's one of those things of like, if you played I Write Sins Not Tragedies next to High Hopes, like those don't sound like they're from the same band,
I like it when a band shows they have this range.
Oh no, for sure. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just.
I know.
I'm just saying that.
I'm just saying, like, I don't process it like, and a lot of this might just come from just listening, especially in the past however long since I discovered 21 Pilots, that they do just play whatever they want.
Yeah, well, and I think that's cool, right? I think I'm super into it when like there's a band that maybe just like plays different stuff, but also, on the other hand, it's like when a band does something that they do for 4 albums, then for the 5th album coming, which I'm not trying to like trash talk Go. I like Go. I picked a number out of thin air and it happens to be 4, and then the 5th album. But like when a band comes out and does 4 albums and they all sound like they're one single oeuvre, and then they come out and do a 5th album and it sounds just completely different, then it's like, oh, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. Is this what we're doing now? Like, and I obviously, like, I get that artists need to grow and change and do different stuff.
It feels to me like a progression. Like it feels like My Dinosaur Life is different than what preceded it, and then My Dinosaur Life, like that development progresses into Go, and that feels like a natural development from My Dinosaur Life to Go, and then Go's development into Panic Stations. I don't know that I'd say that feels quite the same. Like I do feel like the departure there's more significant, but
I mean, like, I again, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Go. I'm just saying that like if Go wasn't like in this discography, if it went from My Dinosaur Life to Panic Stations, that would make a lot more sense to me than going from My Dinosaur Life to Go than to Panic Stations.
Man, I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. Like, not like I like Go. I think Go is a good album with good songs. It's a decent album with some really good songs. But like it just feels like, and I think they were conscious of that. I think it was a conscious decision of Go. They tried something different, and the fan base responded in a negative way. And Justin has called Go his least favorite album of the discography. And so then they came back with Panic Station and did something, you know, a little more like what they had done before, which is a little pop punkier. There is some Indian, like some indie rocky stuff in here. I think like well, Days Will Run Away is very indie rocky. Like Days Will Run Away would feel at home on Go. But like Circuits and Wires is the only song on Go that I feel like would fit on any other Motor City Soundtrack album. Not that there's not other, like Timelines is a great song, you know. True Romance is a song that I like a lot. Son of a Gun's a song I like a lot. I just don't feel like they make sense on.
We go through that. Timelines also good at Floating Down the River. Big fan.
Yeah.
Obviously, Worst Is Yet to Come.
But like there's other good tracks in the album, of course. I'm just saying none, like they don't feel like the rest of the band's work. Which is funny because we'll talk a lot about, I think I'll have a lot to say about Inside Out when we get to Inside Out, because that song sounds nothing like anything else the band did. Like it's a very different song. But yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about some lyrics, I guess. Unfortunately, so I don't know if this is going to make it into the little cold open, but I have talked a lot, which is nice, and also I always feel bad when I talk so much, but I know you like it when I talk a lot.
I like listening.
So whatever. But I think most of our Panic Stations episodes, much like our last Go episode, The Worst Yet to Come, are going to end up being pretty short because there's really not a lot of like stuff out there for them. There's very little as in the way of interviews about them or like speculation about it, just because, you know, it was the last album. It didn't do quite as well. The band broke up right afterwards. So I pulled a few reviews, which is what we're going to talk about in lieu of the band actually talking about it. But before that, do you have any stuff you want to talk about with like lyrics in this song?
Well, in the last episode, we found that that person, you found that person's comment on song meanings, right?
Yeah.
Where all of their music is about, or so much of the music is about water and swimming, and this album feels like the. I mean, I assume, or I think this person might have gotten the idea from this album, but this always seems like the heaviest.
Well, they definitely didn't get it from this album because that comment was 11 years ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that comment was pre My Dinosaur Life.
And then that comment had some impressions because like the cover.
The cover is there's so much water on the cover. I know.
And the beginning of the song is about like the what word is driftwood in it.
Yeah, trapped all the driftwood thoughts I'd rather just ignore, which is funny because that's one that like a lot of lyric sites, including Music's Match, which is what Google gets its lyrics off of, says trapped all the liquid thoughts I'd rather just ignore. But you listen to the song, it's very clearly saying driftwood. Yeah.
Obviously, Anchor, the big one.
Anchor is away, anchor and stay. Yeah, which I guess, you know, if we talk about like the swimming metaphor that we mentioned last episode, if swimming is continuing to go, anchor is sort of like getting.
Man, I know this is me reading like so much into it that's not there, but like something about the at the beginning we were talking about how I feel like the song is in a narrow band of notes. Made me think of a ship in the water, and I know this is like the stretchiest stretch, but like when the notes go high, when he goes high, he's stressing the boat's going over a wave or waves are crashing over, and then in the normal section just like even course, even keel. I
don't think that's too much of a stretch actually, because that's a thing that songwriters do a lot.
I think playing a song that's a boat is probably.
Well, I think it's a little bit, maybe a little bit of the stretch, sure, but like, you know, rising and falling tension, that makes sense, right? You're as as you get a little bit more I don't think manic's the right word, but as you get a little bit more like a little rangier with the song, that that indicates a lot of extra tension, and then you resolve that tension by going back to a little bit more even keel, dragging my heels like a broken record. Like, that makes sense. I don't know if rising tension and like, I don't know if I'm using the terms right. They're definitely words I've heard said by music people. But so I think Anchor,
I
though.
don't feel the tension as much in the rising of the song. I just meant, just in general, it's rising.
Right. But then it comes back down, and that's what I mean. It resolves the rise, like tension, as in like as the musical term. But I also don't know if I'm using the musical term tension right. I think Anchor, interestingly, actually is used fairly literally in the term of like settle down. I'd like to anchor someday. I'd like to anchor and stay.
Yeah.
Like you hope for the best, but the best always leave you behind. It's one of those songs that like, I mean, I'm sure you can see a lot into it, but at its base level, probably about a girl. Like yeah, meet a lot of ladies, and
You hope for the best, but the best never stay.
and they never stay. They always leave you behind. I want to anchor. I just want to stay.
Man, I don't want to like introduce heaviness into this, but it's like, well, Tony leaving.
I mean, I don't know. That's nothing. But I don't think that's entirely anything. Because like he stayed friends with the band. He played on, I think when they toured this album in LA, he like came on and played some drums for some stuff. But it's not quite like in Blink-182 where like every song after Tom left is about Tom, because like some of it is like very straightforward, dragging my heels like a broken record, taking the fall like a champion, my heart belongs beneath the ocean floor. Which again, ocean floor, another water reference. There's a lot of water references in this album, which I noticed like literally as soon as the album came out. I didn't think about all that swimming stuff that we learned about last week, or at least that the theory that we read last week. But I remember when this album came out in 2015. I still have the T-shirt that I got with the pre-order. I wear it all the time. But I messaged our friend Joe Cuevas because like there's so many like ocean and water references in this album, and he's like a big ocean guy. Like he's a marine biology major. So like I just kept like, you gotta check this out. Like it's tons of like ocean and water references, and one song is called Broken Arrow, and he was super into archery at the time. So I remember specifically noticing all the references to water, which is why I brought it up last week that Panic Station is just like super like I don't know, a lot of water related stuff. Yeah, I didn't even think of the driftwood thing though until you brought it back up.
Heavy Boots also has references.
Yeah, Heavy Boots is the one that I think I was.
Album.
Heavy Boots is the one I think I was really thinking of when I was thinking of Joe. Staring at the ocean, waiting for the world to end. Like that's, I don't know why
Subtle.
there's what it is about the ocean in this song, in this album specifically.
Well, I think there's some stuff on Days Run Away that might elaborate into that, but that is for another time, I think.
That is for another episode, yeah. All right, let me read some of the reviews. So these are, I only found like 3 reviews that mention Samurai Code specifically. So the first one is from crypticrock.com, from somebody named Nina Mende. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. But she mentions sort of like as the album comes to a close, we get to Gravity, which calls catchy rock song, and then the Samurai Code is a little like a surf rock song, easygoing yet filled with a deeper meaning, and then mentions Days Will Run Away. Swinging back into a brighter tone. Samurai Code swings into a brighter tone like a surf rock song. I don't know what do you consider surf rock?
I think the only answer is Beach Boys, right?
That's my first thought, like Beach Boys, B-52s. Let me see.
Very what, Dick Dale maybe? Very specific guitar sounds.
Yeah. So yeah, because I mean, it does. So when I look at surf music on Wikipedia, it references pop punk as a derivative form. So that makes sense. And there's a surf punk. Um, yeah, but I don't know. I can sort of hear like a surfy vibe. I don't know if I'd call it surf rock, but I also don't know if I understand what surf rock is exactly. So I can't say it's not surf rock. Um, but I can definitely like feel that sort of vibe of like it is one of like you said, like it's sort of chill. So it makes sense that it's like a little surfy. Obviously it has the ups and downs like waves. In a surf. You ride the surf wave. I am I stretching? I think I'm stretching.
They're stretching.
Are they stretching?
Yes.
Okay, so the wittenbergtorch.com, which is
It's just that I make stupid associations, and I would be the first to tell you, be like, you know what this album makes me think of? Surfing.
The wittenbergtorch.com, which is a student newspaper out of Springfield, Ohio. Jess Ham wrote this review. The second to last track, the Samurai Code. Oh, so she, I believe Jess is a she, also mentions the theme of oceanic waves. Lose Control describes this early on, relating to a life situation as an ugly ocean. Second to last track, Samurai Code, ties them together with the moving lines, starving myself in the name of progress. Clutching the tide as the ship goes down, my heart belongs beneath the ocean floor. Which I guess we mentioned already a little bit, the ocean theme and Samurai Code's thing to it. And then impact89fm.org, which is a radio station, the Michigan State University radio station out of East Lansing, Michigan. Hannah Keeler, man, we might be like the fifth or sixth people to read these articles. Hannah Keeler calls the Samurai Code one of her favorite up-tempo songs from the album, and then says Days Runaway is an angsty, wallowy song.
Yeah.
I there's very very little on the internet about this song. Let's see, we got anything else?
Why do you think they called it the Samurai Code?
That's a good question. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. There's a lot on this album where like I don't know why it has that. Like, you know, they do that from time to time. Like, Time Turned Fragile isn't mentioned in the song. That's
yeah, but the idea of Time Turned Fragile, like that.
I agree, right? Yeah,
I understand it implicitly.
I understand it implicitly as well. Like Resolution, same thing. Like the words not in the song, but it's so let's give it up for the new year resolution. I get that implicitly. Antonia, same thing. Like they don't say Antonia, but it's a song about this fictional girl Antonia, the conversation. But like I have no clue why this song would be called the Samurai Code. And like that's one that you would hope they say somewhere.
I did know that the other term for it's Bushido. Let's see. What are the 7 codes of Bushido?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see if for some reason
Bushido, the way of warriors, Japanese collective term for the many codes of honor and ideals dictated the samurai way of life, analogous loosely to the European concept of chivalry. The way originates from the samurai moral values: sincerity, frugality, loyalty, martial arts mastery, and honor until death. A code. What do you think? Does the song speak to you as having a code, as being an honorable message?
I mean, I don't get it.
Has he talked about like watching old samurai movies?
I mean, I'd buy it. That sounds like something he's done. Yeah, I don't know. That's something when we eventually finally get him on the show, we'll I'll have to ask. Why is it called the Samurai Code, Justin? Like, I don't know, man. I like samurais.
Some cool shit. All right. I had a
All
friend
right.
would turn
I
on playing
guess
it the other day. Can't quit. I was nonstop anywhere, but I don't. The only thing I can think of is that samurai, Dasan or samurai would have the option to restore their honor by killing themselves or committing seppuku.
right.
But I don't.
I don't see how that has anything to do with
Song
anything in the
title.
song.
The song title.
I don't get it. There's other ones in this album, like Heavy Boots, like staring at the ocean, waiting for the like. I don't get Heavy Boot. Gravity, I get. Because like
heavy boots keep you like from losing your footing in water.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like thematically, it's weird, but it's less like this is.
I know. It's very weird. I don't get it. I understand. I know what a TKO is, but I also don't know why the song is called TKO. I don't think it's a good title for a song. I think Panic Station is a great title for an album, but I don't.
For sure.
I don't get it.
Is this maybe about a wandering samurai? Is that the take? The song is about samurai without a master.
A Ronin.
Who's going it alone.
So wouldn't it be the Ronin code?
No, I'm bleeding it. Well, Ronin, dude, I don't know shit about this.
Ronin were samurai without masters.
Isn't that like you hope for the best, but the best always leaves you behind. I'd like to anchor someday. I'd like to find a town to settle down in. I had a dream, now it's gone, so I'm going it alone today. Crash, now I'm fractured, all hands round to the core. That just sounds like boats.
Did samurai do boats? Were samurai great at boats?
No hope skyline got shoved over and undone. I like the anchor someday. I feel like
I know got shoved over and undone is one that a lyric that wasn't on any of the lyric sites, and then somebody tweeted at Justin to I remember this. I just saw the tweet when I was trying to figure out why it was called the Samurai Code. I just saw the tweet, but I also remember it because it was like 5 months ago that someone was like, what's this lyric? I have no idea what this lyric is. None of the lyric sites know either. And Justin tweeted back like, oh yeah, it's got shoved over and undone. It's like, oh, okay, thanks. And then now lyric sites have it.
Maybe we can trick him into talking about the song that way.
I'm sure if we
Someone
tweet
told
him.
I tell you what, I'm going to go on that song meaning site and post my samurai take on the song.
You absolutely should. Please do. I'm going to ask him. In Milwaukee.
I can do it.
Which by the way is now just happened as of release. The Milwaukee show technically just happened. So I hope I ran into some of you.
I hope you will be had enjoyed it.
Sure. Okay. So this is the part of the show where we usually talk about covers and alternate versions and remixes. But this is the part of the show where we recognize that Go and Panic Stations have very few covers and alternate versions and remixes. In fact, this song was never played live as far as I forget the name of the site that I looked at. I think setlist.fm. Yeah, as far as setlist.fm knows, this song has never been played live ever. So there's just nothing. There's nothing for it. There's other songs in this album that I know have been played live and done acoustic versions. We joked about this, but so here's a cover of the Samurai Code.
Nime here did a cover of it, and it's gonna be some.
Here's a cover of the Samurai Code from Jake's favorite Motion City soundtrack cover band, Me.
That's true.
You hope for the best, but the best always leaves you behind. I'd like to anchor someday. I had a dream, now it's gone, and I'm going it alone today. Crash, now I'm fractured, all hands riding to the core.
So that's going to be on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
When this episode goes out later, like probably maybe later the day or around the same time, maybe a couple hours earlier. Jake, I know you commented. I'm not gonna talk about this. I also don't want to hear you talk about this. I don't know how to discuss this. I don't know why I did this. I I think I'm okay, but I'm not that great at guitar, and I'm just okay at singing. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my headphones off, and you're gonna message me when you're done talking about this cover. And go.
Oh, I don't listen to it. Or don't. That's all.
I heard that's all, so I assume that was the message. Yeah. So I guess I'll talk like some real quick about process. So because Panic Stations is like a less listened to album, just like Go, there weren't even like the chords weren't online. And again, like I'm not that great at guitar. I'm not very good at guitar. And like I don't have like the ear to figure out what note is being played necessarily. So I chordify.com, which is or chordify.net, which I believe uses machine learning to figure out what the chords in a song is, or what the chords are. I'm not 100% sure, but if it's not machine learning, then it sucks. If it is machine learning, then it's pretty good. You know, like it's not great, but it's pretty good. And then I use that to try to figure out how to like and then fix it. But I went to the about page for chordify.com and it's in German. So that does not help. I see complex technology, actor chordify, chord recognition and beat tracking. So I think it is machine learning. Or something like that. But I believe it uses machine learning to figure out what the chords in a song are. So if that's it, then it's pretty sweet. Like it's pretty cool. But so anyway, so that's how I figured out how to play this song because it's hard to figure out. And they're definitely, so you're going to see it on YouTube. There's definitely a bunch of chords that are like not right. That this is why I try like to be really nice to a lot of the ones that go up on YouTube, because I know it's not easy. All right. Do you have any other final thoughts on the Samurai Code?
No, I like the song. I think especially with a band I already like, again, listening to any of their songs over and over again is gonna inspire some particular affinity for it. But yeah, I think it's unusual, like I said, and also the guitar riff in it that also feels uncommon in their songs.
Yeah,
I
think the guitar riff is a little different. The the Moog is present there. I mean, there's not really much going on with it. It's present. I didn't specifically notice anything about the drums, because this is I didn't notice anything specifically about the drums, because this is the first album with Claudio instead of Tony, so it might be a little different, but it seemed perfectly cromulent.
Yeah, enjoy the album, enjoy the song.
Yeah. All right, cool. That'll do it. Like I said, a little bit of a shorter episode this week, as expected. Just because there's not a bunch to talk about with some of the two newer albums like there are with the four older ones. If you want to check out more of the show, it's iamkuhan.com/Motion City. Maybe I'll buy a URL sometime in the next few weeks or months. Who knows? It's one of those things that I'll probably get around to it. It's just like I used to buy domains before starting shows, and I have like 4 domains for podcasts that I never even started. So I'm just, like, let me wait until we get like an audience. Once somebody tweets at us, then I'll be like, okay, cool, maybe I should buy a domain. But for now, I am Kuhan.com/Motion City. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at Kuhan. Jake is at XFIP-. That is XFIP like the baseball stat and minus spelled out. You can find the show at Motion City Pod. That is our Twitter handle. That is our Instagram handle. That motioncitypod@gmail.com is our email address. I don't think we've gotten any emails. I haven't looked, but I'm just going to assume we haven't. And we are also Motion City Pod somewhere else, right? Maybe I'm wrong.
Instagram.
Did I not say Instagram already?
I don't know if you said Instagram.
I don't know. We're there on Instagram. We're not on. We don't post anything on Instagram, but we have the Instagram page. You can find us on Apple Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. That's something podcasters say. Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify. If there's something else you want to see us on, let me know, and I'll see if I can get us on there. I think that is all of the things to say. So, we will talk to you next time with a new Motion City soundtrack song, which you'll have to find out like the rest of everybody.
You'll see in the title of the
You'll see in the title of the next episode. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
No hope for the best, cause the best always leave you behind. You hope for the best, but you just end up losing your mind. You hope for the best, but the best always leave you behind. I'd like to anchor someday. I'd like to